It's 20 years since the women's quadruple sculls was first introduced into the Games, during which time Germany have won all 5 Olympic titles. Today, they start from lane 2.
Attention.
Well, one thing's for sure, we'll be looking for the British quad to try and dominate right from the start here, Martin.
Absolutely, and the way that Kath Granger has taken a crew off 49 strokes a minute, I think the intent is to go and lead out this race early on, just like they did in Lucerne, just like they did in the World Championships last year. They know how to be successful if they do that, and yeah, the British bows just showing in front ahead of the Chinese, the crew in red, 3 from the top of your picture.
Germany also a strong start there from Stephanie Schiller and Katrin Bohren, Manuela Lutz and Britta Opelt. That's a pretty experienced quartet, and already the 3 most favoured names, the 3 big guns, are beginning to forge away in the first 250 metres.
It's a big lead to have, isn't it? I mean, Great Britain almost got a length on the Australians after 250 metres. That just shows you the pace and the intensity of what they want to do in this Olympic final. And the Americans, who beat the British in Lucerne, and the Ukrainians, well, they're out of it already, and we haven't even reached 500 metres. But you know, I think this race is a psychological battle, David, because what the British would do after that defeat in Lucerne, that extremely painful defeat by the Chinese, how they would approach this race, because this is the first time these 2 crews have met since Lucerne. And you know, I think the psychology behind the British is fascinating. Have they got the strength to carry this fast start through?
Coming up to the end of the first quarter there, and Great Britain by the best part of half a length over Germany, with China in 3rd place, Ukraine just creeping past the Americans, and Australia on the far side. Well, here is Kath Granger with Fran Houghton and Debbie Flood and Annie Vernon. That's the quartet, and stretching away now to the best part of 3/4 of a length.
Yeah, they're down at 38 strokes a minute. I just wonder, actually, they paid a lot for going off for the first quarter at about 39.40. It took them through the 500. They were still up high, and they still look a little bit forced. Look at them compared to the Chinese in red. British at 38 strokes a minute, maybe coming down to 37. Chinese at 34. I mean, that's the difference between these 2 crews. Will it pay for the British in the last quarter of this race?
Well, interesting as you see the British 3 from the left there with the advantage. They must have discussed this and gone through this with Paul Thompson. They must have worked out what they needed to have as they went into the second half of the race. Yeah,
I think they've got a tremendous amount of belief. They believe they are going to be the world champions here, the Olympic champions, and nothing is going to take that away from them. And they believe that. They've tried to instill that belief to get them over that shock of losing at Lucerne. I'll tell you, though, the Germans with the great Katrin Bohren, who tops the FISA all-time ranking list with 12 gold medals, 4 Olympic golds. Well, they're back on form as well. Bohren, she never looks the most fluid of scullers, but really strong there. And these 3 crews right on top of their form in this Olympic final.
But look at the Chinese on the near side. They've already cut back into that advantage. It's now barely half a length as we go into the second half of the race. And still the Ukraine ahead of the United States, and Australia really struggling. That's really disappointing for them on the far side. But Great Britain now under a little bit of pressure here from the Chinese. I'm still quite amazed at the way they decided, the Chinese, to bring in a new stroke, but they've just looked better and better.
Yeah, Jin's Wei in the 2 seat. That's 2 from the left of that boat. She was a stroke in Lucerne. Well, at the moment she's moved back to 2, and they brought Zhang Yang, the 19-year-old, in. I'm amazed they put her in, but look at the effect it's having, because the British lead being cut back through, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Chinese in front with 500 metres left to go, just coming into the last quarter. But Kath Granger's got it all to do now if she wants to be the first British woman to lead her crew to an Olympic gold medal.
But they know that the Chinese have got a real powerful finish, particularly in the last couple of 100 metres. So Kath Granger knows that this advantage probably at this moment isn't enough.
Yeah, she's pushed away. Look, Granger's pushed away with Houghton. They've just called something there. I think Debbie Flood's called it, and they've just eked out another 3 or 4 feet. So that's a good news for the British. Great response, but it's cost them an awful lot to put that effort in. They've had to put the rating up to do it. China's still in contention, so that, I reckon, is as much as the British are going to get. And are the Germans finishing quicker, David?
Well, there's no doubt for me at the moment, China look very comfortable. Great Britain, though, they are building on that advantage. There's a little bit over half a length now as we go into the final 500 metres now. Still the positions of the other three crews unchanged there. Ukraine in fourth place, but here is Kath Granger. What has she got? How deep can she dig with that crew? And here come China. This is the predictable push that they knew was going to come at them, and still Germany not that far away.
Yeah, the Chinese just a slightly longer stroke at the moment than the British, but I think they're rowing well at the moment, the British. They're fluid, they're still out there, they've got that little cushion. The question is it going to be enough? And what has this new Chinese stroke, Zhang Yang got? Can she just find that dramatic 250 burn, last 250 to take them through the British? What a race we're in prospect here.
Have they got that extra gear, the British? They've really got to hold this together. They're coming under pressure now from the Chinese. You can see now just under half a length, and here go the Chinese. Now this is the big push for China. China, remember, they've never won an Olympic rowing gold, and China coming up to go bow to bow, babble to babble with Great Britain, and in 10 strokes, Martin, they have gone through Great Britain.
Oh, fantastic move, tremendous move, and the Chinese chief coach must be delighted with his girls there, because this is them. They're going to take the gold medal in this event, no doubt about that.
Well, they've got to keep the drive on here. Kath Granger trying to raise one last gasp effort, but I think it's a forlorn hope now, because the Chinese now, they're striding away towards the line, and this is a moment of history. China take the gold. Great Britain are silver medalists yet again, ahead of Germany, who just hold off the fast Finnish Ukrainians, with America and Australia about to cross the line in 5th and 6th respectively. Well, this is a huge moment.
Yeah, and there she goes, Zhang Yang trying to stand up in a boat, thinks better of it.
For Germany, Steffi Schiller, Katrin Boron, Manuela Lutz and Britta Oppelt taking the bronze medal. But it is nonetheless, Martin, a moment of history for these 4 young Chinese women, and this was the moment of truth for Great Britain. And for these 4 young women, there'll never be a moment like this, to do this at the Olympic Games, but to do it on your own home stage.
I know Igor Grinko, the Chinese chief coach, will be delighted that he's finally delivered a gold medal, but it was a great race between 2 fantastic crews. Just a shame for the British supporters that it was the Chinese who came out on top.